I want my money back. I don't even care. My $10? I want that back. Hello everybody, I'm Salamander and I feel very angry today. Going back to my roots because all I'm doing today is complaining. During a Steam sale, I found Wingcloud's store page and saw a bunch of boobs, visual novels, and I wanted to play them. So I bought a couple of them, because they were like 50% off and I have very little impulse control. And I had a job at the time. One of these buys was Sakura Fox Adventure. I don't believe this game was on sale, and if it wasn't nearly as big of a discount as the others, but this particular game appealed to me more than the others. Why? Because Fox Lady cute. That's it. Okay, so why am I pissed off? This game is bad. So bad. I've played Sonic dating sims from Newgrounds that are better than this garbage. You think I'm joking, but unfortunately I'm not. To get my one praise for this out of the way, the one good aspect of this game was the art. Wanaka's art here, while in a generic but appealing style, still shows a level of skill that I appreciate. Wanaka is just a fantastic artist in general, and I absolutely do not want to state otherwise. Alright. Everything else? Terrible. I'm just gonna run through the plot now. The game starts with our main character training, fighting a slime monster that was conjured by her teacher Ohana. Honestly, this isn't that interesting of a scene, but it does the bare minimum to introduce our integral character. The main character Mikoto tells us through internal thought that she is the daughter of her clan's chief and therefore the next in line for that role. But unfortunately for her, despite her mother's strength, she is weak and has only one tail when many in her peer group have up to 3 at this point. Anyways, her trainer beats her to a pulp, and they have a little moment where Mikoto rests her head on Ohana's lap and gets pettings. I'd let Ohana pet me. Mikoto explains that there's some festival going on in a nearby human village, and that she really wants to go, but Ohana says no because human's bad. Mikoto pulls the whole, but they get to go, talking about some occasionally referenced peers, and then runs off to the festival by herself at night, after masking her tail and ears with her admittedly weak magic. The real meat of this game doesn't start until you actually get to the festival. Mikoto meets Juni, a knight with nonsensical armor. What's the point if you're not protecting any of your vitals? At least cover her stomach! Mikoto proceeds to make a fool of herself. This happens a lot. And reveals that she is a fox girl, and everyone gets angry and yells at her to leave because they hate furries or something. Juni says, "Stop kink shaming," and takes Mikoto to her home. Flirting happens, but honestly this chick's armor is still bothering me, so I don't care. The next day, Juni decides to train Mikoto so that she can actually defend herself. This goes poorly because Mikoto is weak. They go back to Juni's to make some kind of dessert food. It gets spilled all over Juni, and Mikoto licks it off her without consent. Mikoto realizes that, hey, maybe it isn't a good thing to lick people without consent, gets ashamed and runs off, and after some internal self-loathing, she runs into one of the people from the village. Lady from the village gives her a pep talk, I can't speak. Juni shows up and thinks the villager lady was possibly going to harm Mikoto. Mikoto says, no wait, she's actually cool, and then Mikoto and Juni have a conversation about the batter incident. The conversation went something like this. "I'm sorry for being gross and not asking permission. No, I liked it. I like you. You are pretty. Whoa, you're pretty too, and you have bobongos." There's a choice to either stay with Juni or go back to the Fox Village. If you go to the Fox Village, you get a romance scene with Ohana and one of the endings. If you stay with Juni, Mikoto returns to Juni's house and the two smash. They wake up in the morning, some stuff happens, and then Juni confesses the reason for trusting Mikoto. When Juni was young, she was wandering in the woods and got attacked by a slime. She was saved by a strong fox girl around her age, and they walked together. As a token of their new friendship, the fox girl gave Juni a ribbon and promised to meet her again. Juni never saw the girl again. But yes, she did, because Mikoto says, "Oh hey, that looks like my ribbon," and turns out Mikoto was the fox girl from Juni's childhood. Wow! What a twist! Mikoto wondered why she couldn't remember meeting Juni until it was brought up again, but they didn't have time to think about that because there was suddenly screaming from the villagers. They checked it out, and Booby Lady Ohana terrorizes the villagers because she needs the fox girl back. Juni says, "No, this is my ass now," and they fight. Ohana's way stronger though, and she has tentacles. Vines. I meant vines. Ohana then explains that she was the one who erased Mikoto's memory in an attempt to protect her, but that it also did something and made Mikoto forget how to fight, and that she was a prodigy as a child. She also admits to having an intense hatred for humans. The paths diverge from this point into different endings depending on your choices. Firstly, you can tell Ohana to piss off and Mikoto gets a power-up because the power of yay, I guess. After this, there's another branch. Second branch, you can either forgive or reject Ohana. If you forgive her, you get a threesome ending. Reject her, and you get the good ending with Junie. If you go back to the first branch, you also have the option to just go back with Ohana in return for Junie's safety. If you go with Ohana, they smash, and Ohana once again erases Mikoto's memory. In total, there are like 5 different endings, and none of them really felt satisfying. Why? Because I don't care about any of these characters. Firstly, Mikoto is kind of a dumbass. We're in her head, so her dumb thoughts are presented to the reader through the whole damn game. She just doesn't think things through, so I can't put myself in her position. Junie is a generic night lady. She isn't memorable, like, at all. While writing the script, I genuinely blinked for anything to say about her. She has boobs. Moving on. Ohana's my favorite of the 3, and that is an issue. Sure, I don't think Ohana is a good person. No, I don't think she's in the right. Yes, I think she has an abusive relationship with Mikoto. But she is the most fleshed out of the 2 love interests, having clear goals and motivations. She may not be a good person, but she does admit her mistakes in one of the endings, giving me reasons to actually like her. Also, she's hot, and since this ended up being a glorified porn game, that's important. Honestly, the writing sucks. The character interactions are so awkward I found myself groaning frequently. The pacing being so weirdly fast does not help. It simply adds more weirdness as these characters don't know each other well enough to be interacting in this way. Let's talk about the character designs for a moment. As I said, the art for this game is one of the few redeemable things here. Despite the artistic skills on display, there's a clear theme in character design. Sexualization. Now personally, I don't get offended by sexualizing fictional women. One of my favorite Final Fantasy characters is Lulu, and her boobongas are on display the whole game. It doesn't bother me because it's fitting for her character. What does annoy me is this game's nonsensical approach to outfit design. Ohana is the most acceptable in my eyes. She's powerful and could easily conjure a spell to protect herself that'd be more powerful than any standard armor. She's also a nature spirit, so I think being almost nude is fine enough. Mikoto is weird. Like, why isn't she wearing pants? I don't think she needs to be fully decked out in armor or clothes, but she is in the woods. Unless it's just typical fox girl attire, it seems odd that she would wear such an intricate top but no pants. And now Junie. She is a knight! To my knowledge, she doesn't have defensive magic, so she actually needs proper armor to protect herself. Almost none of her vital organs are covered here. Not even her chest is really covered. One attack from above and she's done. And her stomach? Her legs? Why even wear clothes? They're pointless! While we're on the topic of bad artistic decisions, this game did one of those things where it wrote around the illustrations rather than the other way around. This means there are occasional errors in reference to the environment of some scenes, plus they had to forcibly inject scenes into the already weirdly paced story. Oh, another questionable decision? This game reuses assets from another Wing Cloud title, Sakura Dungeon. I know that this isn't an uncommon practice, but considering this game has 3, count 'em, 3 character sprites in total, it's incredibly odd that even one of them is reused. It's honestly hilarious. On top of everything else, do you want to know how long this game took me to complete? All endings, all extra scenes included, under 5 hours. This game is so short. $10 for a short, poorly made game? Like, I'm genuinely upset that this costs so much when there are better games with way more content that are either free or incredibly cheap. This costs the same amount as Honey Pop. How is that possible? It feels like this was made by a group of people in order to make a quick buck. Poor writing and translation, uninspired story, and the reuse of art assets. Wing Cloud is actually known for doing this kind of thing, which considering I also got Sakura Angels and Sakura Fantasy while on sale, I'm a bit wary. Anyways, I don't recommend this game. Unless you can get it on sale and just need to see some boobongis, stay away. Thanks for watching.